morning gatherings. And so what I want to ask you to do, as well as what I asked on Sunday, was to be praying. Be in prayer. This is not the most important thing for us as a church family, but we all know it is important. Gathering on Sunday morning is not what constitutes a church family, but we know it's a really big piece of a church family and the life of that church family. And so what we are doing, myself, Pastor Mark, our elder team, we are actively in conversations with multiple options, trying to find the best case scenario for us as a church family, so that then we can not just take the next step, but prayerfully that next step would be really the only step that we take, that we don't have to continually move spots. And so that's what we're really looking for, is a space not only that can handle us in capacity, but also term-wise as well. And so I wanted to reinforce that, let you know, but even though we can't go anywhere right now today, we still have some awesome things on the horizon for this summer.
Yes, and just like Cameron said, we, our elder team and pastors, they're working just tirelessly behind the scenes to figure out what is next for us. And actually, I was thinking today about how faithful the Lord has always been to us as a church. You know, from the time that we were kicked out of the Summerwood Community Center, and then went straight into Wood Creek and to Summer Creek, and He has always provided, and we are confident, really, really confident that God will provide what is next for us as a church. And so we, just like Cameron said, we want to encourage you to pray with us, and actually beg of you to pray with us for the doors to open up for where God will have us be meeting when we are able to meet back together. And also just to encourage you, we will get back together. We will come together and meet in person and not always be meeting via a screen. As great as that has been, we are with you on that, and we miss your faces, and we are excited to see you in person. But also this summer we have a few things planned that are in the works, and just like with that, we don't have every detail lined up, but we wanted to let you know so you can go ahead and put that into your summer plans. The first one is that we are going to be doing men and women's Bible studies. When we find a location and we have all of that squared away, we will meet on separate nights, and we won't be able to do childcare this go round, but we will meet together as groups of men and as groups of women. And if you have been a part of those in the past, you know how beneficial that is to us as a community of believers, and for us to grow in our relationships with the Lord. And then we also have, just as our tradition of all summers that we have been together as a church, as Westlake Church, we are going to be meeting on June 27th at Redemption Square, which, if you don't know where that is, it's across the street, across Westlake Houston from Summer Creek High School. And we will be meeting there for our Summer Saturdays, which you know is a fun tradition, and many of you have even started coming because of that tradition, where we have food, we have some fun activities planned for kids, and just some time, if you are comfortable and ready to kind of branch out in your social distancing, we will be meeting this summer, June 27th. So go ahead and put that on your calendar. That will be the first event we have as a church family meeting back together.
Yeah, so listen, you'll hear more about Summer Saturdays, specifically the June 27th event that we have coming up at Redemption Square. And listen, I don't know, I know for us, getting out of our social distance quarantine space is a much desired. We are welcoming that, and so listen, if you just want to show up, drop your kids off, and go have a date. No, I'm just kidding. You can't do that. You can't do that because Hannah and I have already asked if we can do that,
Yeah.
and we were told no.
Yeah.
So it can't happen. But we want to invite you, and we'll be able to share that information with graphics and more details via email and social media and stuff, so that you as a church family, we can continue to invite our neighbors and our friends, because remember, that's still what our mission is as disciples of Jesus, is to share Jesus. And Summer Saturdays are an easy way to do that. Hey, there's kind of been a theme that I've been noticing, and even just subtly, just in some verbiage and terminology that I've heard folks use lately, which leads me, I want to encourage us, because there's this misconception, I think, just in culture in general, and I would even say there's a misconception possibly even within our own church family, maybe within even your own life, where if we're not gathering together physically, then that means the church doesn't exist. That if the church isn't in a physical building, that the church is non-existent. And I want to bust that myth. And I hope that what this time has done is twofold. One, that it has grown your affection for our church family. It's the absence of something makes the heart grow fonder, right? And it's that distance, it's that space, it's that missing out is what actually drives us closer. And so I know in my life, the longing to be together as a church family has only increased through this. It hasn't decreased. It's only increased. And so I pray, first of all, that that's what's happened. But I pray, second of all, what's happened maybe in your life, or maybe even tonight would be the first time you're maybe being confronted with this, is that the church, just because we can't gather physically, doesn't mean the church doesn't exist. And here is how we as a church family have continued to be the church, even though we haven't been able to meet together in a physical space. It's been 11 weeks, guys. Sunday will be the 12th Sunday. Sunday will be the third complete month that we haven't met together physically. And so let me just encourage you about how you and us, how we have continued to be a church family through what we call impact, right? Our impact is kind of what we refer to as our mission. And so we've done some things locally. We have some impact partners. We have Huffman Food Pantry. And at the beginning of this quarantine, if you remember, we did a toiletry drive with Huffman Food Pantry. And guys, as a church family, we were able to see over 300 items be brought in, toiletry items that were brought in and donated by our church family. Tommy's Car Wash was the host site. And then Cindy Holder and our Huffman Food Pantry team basically took all that and gave it and made sure that Huffman Food Pantry got it to distribute to our community. The second way that we've continued to be the church is through Lifeline Pregnancy Care Center. Lifeline has been a local impact partner of ours for years. I remember when Hannah went to information, a little coffee, and got some information, was like, I think we need to pray about this and move towards this. And ever since, God's just continued to open doors for us as a church family to serve. And so not too many months ago, we did a diaper and wipe drive. We had over 7,000 items donated between diapers and wipes, guys. Just recently over Mother's Day, we as a church family donated over 30 items for their Mother's Day appreciation, where they got to love on and appreciate their mothers and their clients. And so this is the way that we've been the church through the midst of this quarantine. And on top of all of these opportunities that we have been so faithful in, and you have been so faithful in as a church, we've had opportunities to feed local first responders and local community leaders through some lunches. And so just to name a few of those opportunities, we fed the first responders at the East Tex Fire Department on Woodland Hills. We were able to feed the staff at the Summerwood HEB. We were able to feed the administration at both Summer Creek High School and Eagle Springs Elementary. We were able to feed and take lunch to the recruiting office of the Houston PD, which is where one of our elders, Alvaro Vallejo, he works down there. And just the other day, we were able to take lunch and feed all of Humble ISD police officers. We took it to their office, and we were able to do that in support and really just to encourage them through this time. That's the whole point of all of this, is that we as a church family said we want to encourage you, we want to support you, we want to appreciate you. But listen, none of that could happen without your generosity. And so even though maybe you personally weren't a part of that, or you personally didn't cook the food or take the food or whatever, it doesn't mean that you weren't a part of it. And so I want to let you know about how significant that is, because listen, all of these things that you're seeing up here, all of our partnerships, all of our impact work, just over the last 3 months, what we've been able to see go out the doors of Westlake Church has been in excess of $12,000. Now, why is that possible? It's possible because of your generosity, because of our generosity. And so what I want to continue to ask is, as a church family, even though we're not meeting physically, that we would continue to keep the mindset that we are the church is not a building. And so let's continue to know, worship, share, and serve Jesus. Let's continue to keep him at the forefront of our lives, and let's continue to seek out after him. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, or you've asked about our building, and our because of that also then the land acquisition. And so I want to let you know, guys, during this time, we've continued to seek the Lord. We've continued to knock on doors. We've continued to seek wisdom outside of just even ourselves on what would be the next best step. And so just continue to pray. We in no way, shape, or form, even today, we feel like there is no way that God has closed the door for us in the pursuit of our land acquisition of 8 acres in the Groves development. And so I want to continue to ask you to pray with us, to pray for faithfulness, to pray for obedience, to pray that as God leads us as a church, that we would walk in faith, that we would walk in confidence, that we would walk in boldness, not because it's in our own strength, but because we know as God has opened doors, that really our job, our responsibility is just to be faithful. We don't have to ask God to bless it if we know that God is the one who opened the door. Our job is to just walk in faith. And so I want to encourage you that just as strongly as God opened these doors for us months ago, we're walking just as strongly today as we were then. We're just excited about it today as we were then. And so, listen, we're pumped. We're excited, and I know it's maybe strange. It's hard to maybe feel like that for you. You're like, okay, whatever. Like, I still don't even know when we regather. What's it going to be like? And can I go somewhere? Is it going to be safe? Is it not going to be safe? And so I just want to encourage you and let you know, listen, we're going to take every step possible. We're going to go through every measure to make sure that when we do regather, it's going to be safe. But most importantly, we want to regather. And so just know, even though it hasn't happened yet, even though we don't have concrete details yet, our goal, our desire, our heart is to be together again as a church family. So we love you.
Yes.
We look forward to that day. And most importantly, June 27th, the first summer Saturday, Hannah and I will be there. Our boys are going to be there. We look forward to seeing you this Sunday as well as on June 27th for our summer Saturday. We love you guys. Have a great night. And we'll see you this Sunday at 10 a.m.